All right, we are live. I'm gonna wait a little bit so people start showing up. Today I'm on the roof of my co-working space, and it's raining, so you'll be hearing either the wave or the rain in the background. The reason for this masterclass is I'm pitching one for a competition that is happening next week, and so I thought, how about I share some of what I'm going to be sharing with you guys? I thought you would appreciate it. Right, gonna stop the music here. Ooh, I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try to go live on Instagram because why not? Let me know. Yep, plus sign. Yep. Story live. I don't know how they're gonna hear me because I'm not gonna have a great audio for that. All right, so let's get started. You can see people coming in already. So, all right, so the topic of today is about pitching, right? And so one of the questions is, when do we pitch? Well, you pitch every time you meet someone. So that could be like the traditional one is like the elevator pitch. You in an elevator and you get 30 seconds to pitch to someone, and or you could be at a cocktail party, you get 30 seconds to pitch to someone, and then you've got another level of pitch. You've got usually the 3 minutes competition where you get just 3 minutes to pitch your entire business. But basically what you're trying to get is you're trying to get invited to the 20-minute pitch, right? So that the 20 minutes pitch is when you sit down with a potential investor, you walk them through the entire business model, and your call to action is to get them to invest in you, right? So these are the moments when we use a pitch. Anytime we meet someone at a dinner party, or anytime someone asks you, so what do you do? Or at a pitching competition, that's for the 3-minute one or the 20-minute one for investors. But then we're like, what do we pitch? And then most of the time you'll find, I need to get the best template, the latest, the perfect template for pitching. And then we start opening it and like, I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this. I need to talk about this. And then it becomes a nightmare because it becomes like a huge deal to build that pitch deck. And then every time we want to pitch, you're going to have to update that pitch deck again and again and again. And then we work on it, and then it slightly gets disconnected from your real business, from what you're doing. Because like, this slide is super flashy. I need to talk about traction. I need to talk about the story. Like, I really need to follow this. I really like that pitch deck that worked for that. So here is how to save time, right? You have to remember what we need to pitch in that 30 seconds, in that 3 minutes, or in that 20 minutes is really the essence of your business model, right? What is the story behind your business model? That's what we want to pitch. We want people to remember our business model. We don't want them to remember our solution. They don't care about the solution yet. They care that you know who your audience is, what is the problem you're addressing. They care about that, and then they care about the solution after that, and then the track. So how do we put that all in? Well, the goal is to always keep a snapshot of your business model, something that you always update according to where you're at in your business. That could be when you're doing interviews, that could be when you're starting to do the sales, that could be when you get your first round. Like, we want everything to be updated. And so what we use is a business model. And one of the tools that I use with my own coach, Ash Maria, is the Lean Canvas, right? So I'm going to walk you through that and I'm going to show you how it's all the parts that we need for a pitch deck. Cool. So I'm going to open my own tool. Let me share my screen so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Cool. All right. So if you want to you can honestly write this on a piece of paper. You can find a template online. If you, like me, you like to have this in a nice online format, and you can have different version of it. You can rename them, you can find them, you can download them in a very, export in PDF, or even copy them. What I use is on my own platform, Lintax. So if you want tools, I'm just gonna give them to you. You can just go on my website down here, and you'll have access to the link. Okay. That's enough for that banner. It's just way too big. Okay, let's get started. So what do people want to know first when you talk to them about the business? They want to know, let's make it even smaller here so you can understand the key focus. They want to know who you're targeting and what is their problem. Honestly, that's all they want to know. They want to know, right? And so we need to write down super quickly our customer segment. What is the overall people that we're targeting? So I'll just walk you through my own business model, but if you could fill up your own at the same time, then that'll be great. And just ask me questions in the comments, and I will answer it. So customer segment for me are early stage entrepreneurs. Cool, super quickly. But we want to give a clear example. We want to tell them, look, this is who I'm targeting overall, but more specifically, who I'm going to work with first, so they know who you're working with first, are my early adopters. And my early adopters in the success segment of your early stage entrepreneur. And for me, they are dads in dads. Cool. And dads wanting to leave corporate, right? So that becomes more specific, right? So now you can start the conversation in your pitch. You can tell the story of the dad wanting to leave your corporate, right? In your pitch, that will be you will tell the story of for me, that's John, which is one of my current customer, one of my current clients, and that's the story that we're going to share. But what we want to share as a story is the story of John. John, what are John's problem? Well, we only want maximum 3 problems, and realistically, in your 3-minute pitch, you will be able to talk about 1 for sure, maybe 2 problems, right? So no point to list more than 3 problems, because no one is going to be able to remember it. So what are the top 2 to 3 problems of your early adopters? Not all the customer segment, your early adopters, right? So for me, problem or opportunities is that they don't have enough time. Right? They're in corporate 9 to 5, and they want to start a business, they want to leave corporate, but they don't have the time they don't have enough time to do it, to spend, they cannot spend full time on it. So that's for me, that's super important. And what is the other one is they don't know how and where to get started, and the motivation to keep on going. Cool. So this is how. So we're writing this in our business model, and then we'll be able to tell the story of John. John is in this corporate, and he wants to leave. But he wants to be with his kids, but he doesn't have the time to do so. And more importantly, he doesn't know where to get started. And then when he gets started, you quickly lose the motivation. So we've just told a story. In this example, I managed to put all three problems in the story. Sometimes they're so different that you cannot put them. And what is super important now is to say, well, they are not waiting for me to solve the problem. They have existing alternatives. So what do your customer segments, early adopters do right now to fix those problems, right? Because they haven't been waiting for you. So that's what we need to write in existing alternative. So here for me, existing alternative, they're going to take maybe a uni course, a one-off, or an MBA. Let's just say something with a degree, right? Or we're going to take a membership in a co-working space to get them motivated. It's like, okay, if I'm spending money in this co-working space, I'm going to get started. What else? They are going to take a course online from a guru. Like those tools, like that drop shipping course from that guru that made millions from it. Very often they made millions from it, selling course, not actually do the drop shipping. So now we have on our business model, and if you just join, I'm using a model called the Lean Canvas. You can just draw it on paper, you can find a template online, or you can just go on my website, julianmarchand.co, sign up for the mailing list, and I'll send you straight away the link to that template. All right. So now we've got the story of who we're targeting and what is the problem and how they're currently dealing with it, right? So now finally we're going to be able to talk about the solution. And look how small the box is for the solution. It's because, again, we don't care so much about the solution, right? You've proven that you know what the problem is and what existing alternative are your potential competitors as well, right? So what is your competition and the problem. So in the solution now, you're going to be able to briefly demonstrate how you address all those problems that are not being addressed by the existing alternative, and they need to match. So your top number one problem, they need to be in your solution something that addresses that top problem. Cool. So for me, the top problem here is they don't have enough time. So the solution will be it's a program that takes up to 10 hours a week. So this way, it put a line in the sand. It's like, that's what the solution is about. I promise you that if you spend 10 hours a week, which is still a lot, but for someone who doesn't have time, you're like, okay, so that's what I need to spend in order to live, to reach my goal, my minimum success criteria. So that's, for them, it's live corporate and live on their own, generate their own revenue to have time with their kids, right? So they don't know how to get started. I propose here, I'll say, well, it's a 12-week step-by-step program. Step-by-step program. Cool. So now it's like, okay, cool. So they are steps, and the lack of motivation to keep on going, and I'll go, and you've got individual support through coaching. Can you hear the kookaburras in the background? I think after the rain, they started showing that they were here. Okay, so now we've got this in our business model. During the pitch, this will be displayed through a demo, screenshot, like demonstrating what the solution really looked like. Cool. Now, what we want to share now is we're going to talk about key metrics. And the key metrics, those are essential in your pitch because they are your traction, and that's what investors are looking for. So the type of metric that you are following are, first of all, the acquisition metric. So acquisition metric, that's basically when that'll be when they first come to you. So you've got your visitors to a website, you don't know them. You've got people that you meet at a conference, you don't know them, you don't have your contact details. So investors or any potential stakeholders are interested to know how many people did you get on board. At least how many people did you get their contact detail? They were interested in your program. Cool. So that's an acquisition rate. And then you've got your activation rate. The activation rate is basically when you've engaged with them. So you've got them on your mailing list, for instance, and then you're starting having interviews at a very early stage. That's a sort of traction. So you can say how many interviews you had with them, but more realistically is how many started your using your tool, your free program. How many of them? So for instance, for here, like I've sent you a link to, I told you to sign up to the mailing list to have a link to this tool. So when you start using this tool online, for me, you are being activated because you're starting to use, to build a habit of using the tool, right? That's those numbers that we want to share. We want to share, look, I usually have 100 to 200 people looking at my LinkedIn post, for instance, and out of those 200 people liking the LinkedIn post, 10% usually sign up to the call to action, which is a mailing list. And then out of those 10%, there's an 8% that actually sign up to the trial, so that I activated. And then, of course, the one metric they want to know is revenue. How many of them actually purchase? So they've trialed your product for free. How many of them purchase? Later on, you'll be able to talk about referral rates and retention, right? So those are usually the 5 key metrics. Very early on, as I said, you'll be talking acquisition, activation, and revenue. Those are the tractions we want to see. You want to track all the time in your business model right here, and that's the numbers you want to share with your investors in your pitch. Cool? That makes sense? Feel free to ask questions on either if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube or even on Instagram. I'll take the question. Okay, so we've done that. Now, one of the most important things is a unique value proposition, right? It's basically a one sentence that summarizes who you're targeting, so your early adopters, what problem you're solving, and how you're solving it, right? What are the benefits they're gonna get? Why they will go with you instead of using the existing alternative? And this needs to be super clear. And look, I'll run a dedicated masterclass on that one. I don't want to spend too much of your time here, but it's critical. It has to be on the first page of your pitch and then on the last page of your pitch. But let's move on. You want to list here your channel because that's going to be your go-to-market strategy, really, right? So it could be, for me, it's LinkedIn, organic growth. That's content marketing, really. And then LinkedIn outreach. Right. So for me, there'll be those channels, but you need to share with your investors which channel you're using. And then finally, we need to talk about your revenue. How much are you going to charge? Right. So I'll put here, for me, the membership is $90 per month. Membership, right? Either it's a 12, and that's for the membership, and the next program is $1,200 for 12 weeks. That's a full program. And then you need to share your cost structure, just to show investors that you know how much this is costing you, know how much is the revenue, because this way you can start showing your growth for the next 3 months, the next 12 months, 24, and especially 3 years down the track. So for here that'll be a virtual assistant for me. All the cost will be all the online tool. Once you've got that, you've got your revenue stream, and I'll show another tool where we can forecast the growth in the next, as I said, 12, 24 months, because that's what investors want to see. They want to see huge growth. They want to see a hockey stick growth. I'll share that later. But you have a call to action. You have an ask at the end. And one of the asks is how much investment do you need to get there? And you can justify this by, here's my cost structure in order to build a solution, in order to use these channels that go-to-market strategy. Here's how much I'm going to be making. I need investment to pay for that gap in between. So showing this will be able to you'll be able to show how much you need. Some of the other asks that are not in a business model will be what team members you need to add. There's a couple of things that we don't have on for your pitch deck on a business model on Canva, but realistically, when I think about it, it's really the team, and that's pretty much it. All the rest is listed in here. So we've done that in less than 20 minutes. You can see that it's just a one-liner, a few words here and there. But now I've got my business model on one page. I know what to talk about when I do a 30-second pitch, elevator pitch. I'll talk about I'm looking for early-stage entrepreneurs, especially dads who wants to live corporate like John, and they usually don't. John doesn't have time, doesn't know how to get started, and he doesn't have the motivation to keep on going. So what we do what I do as a coach is I've got a program that takes up to 10 hours a week for 12 weeks, and there's individual support through coaching. Bam, that's my 30-second pitch. If I've got more time, 3 minutes, I can have the full pitch deck. Then I'm walking through the detail that I've got here. But see what I've done here? I've got the content that I can put in the template for a pitch deck, right? And that's something that I can come back to, and I can share with my investor that one page, this is my business at the moment, right? In a future masterclass or on a Thursday, 12 p.m., I will share with you the unique value proposition. I'll do a masterclass just on the unique value proposition. I'll do another one on the type of pitch deck. So how do we take that information, put it into a pitch deck? I've got a universal pitch deck that is awesome, and I will share with you. And I'll also show you how we can get in that tool, how we can get some financial projection. That's super helpful. But really, in 20 minutes here, you can have the clear content of your pitch deck right there. And look, this is the beauty of it. It's a bit of it's not a gimmick, but I can export it to PDF. There we go. There we go, and then I can put that as a slide deck, or I can send that by email to my investors. Cool. So this is all I've got for you guys. Let me stop sharing my screen. So what I'm inviting you to do is I want you to start putting the story of your business model on one page. So on that business, on that lean canvas, right? So your business model is there. So you can do it on a piece of paper, as I said, or do it in the tools that I've just shared with you. Just go on my website, sign up for the mailing list, and you will have access to it. Cool. And then if you want to be reminded of all those masterclasses on Thursdays, simply join the Future-Proof You tribe on Facebook, and you will get a reminder, and you will also get access to the recording. Cool. I hope you enjoy that very short masterclass on not starting your pitch deck from scratch, but from a lean canvas. Cool. All right. See you guys, and here's to future-proofing you and your business.